Hello, Minnesota. Hello, Minneapolis. Hello, USA. This is Yusuf Haji at Haji Daily, also Facebook, YouTube, and here on Twitter. And today I have my friend Mickey Mo. Mickey, how you doing? How are you?
Great, great. Thanks for having me back, Haji.
Excellent, excellent. So, how is your summer? How are you spending it? What are you doing? Come on, talk to me, my friend.
Well, as most people know, I ran for two consecutive election cycles. I'm really still in recovery mode, trying to get back to the things that I left neglected, including my own family, my homes, all the different projects that I have. I'm retired, but I still have a lot of things that I do on a regular basis that I just essentially abandoned for a little over 2 years. So I'll be recovering for quite some time.
All right, my friend. Thank you. Thank you. We got some interesting things we need to talk about, including first of all, we'll be talking about Roe versus Wade, and then we will be going to the January 6th hearing and Trump's actions, and the people testifying in that hearing, and then finally we're gonna be talking about early voting that started here in Minnesota. So. Our first topic today, we're going to be talking about, and my friend is here too as well. It is the reaction for this is a news article by this is a new article by Minnesota spokesman Recorder. So this is what it says on the headline: Minnesotans react to Supreme Court's decision to strike Roe v. Wade. Minnesota will likely be an island in the Midwest for abortion seekers for the foreseeable future, as the Supreme Court decided on June 24th to strike down Roe v. Wade, the 1973 Supreme Court decision guaranteeing abortion access across the United States. The 6-3 decision, know who voted, in response to a Mississippi lawsuit over the constitutionality of banning abortion at 15 weeks, interprets the U.S. Constitution as not granting the right for anyone to have an abortion. It really gets decision making about the legality of abortion to individual state. So tell me, what is your reaction to your friends? What for me? I'll let you say. I'll let you go ahead. What? How do you feel? Okay, so this is an article. So this is generally speaking of Minnesota reactions, but we also have friends, right? We got close people next, who are neighbors. You got friends, people that know you. What has been the reaction? What conversation are you having with people out there, Mickey?
Well, I think that my smaller circle is reflective of, the larger circle. I do have friends that they consider themselves pro-life and are very much against abortion, not just for themselves, but therefore for everybody. And they're elated. They think that this is a step in the right direction because it's going to somehow prevent the number of abortions from staying high. It's going to lower the total number of abortions. Thereby somehow elevating life itself. I also have friends that are just dismayed and disappointed and really afraid of what this decision means, not just for this particular issue, but for all the kind of equality of life issues or life decision issues. I mean, it's already been determined that this is kind of a gateway ruling towards rolling back a lot of freedoms, same-sex marriage and contraceptive availability and federal funding for various, surgical procedures or something like that. I mean,
So what you're hearing is you have a lot. What you're hearing is a lot more people agree with you on the Supreme Court decision, or is it the other way?
well, definitely more people are upset about the Supreme Court decision, but there is that element out there. I mean, it just needs to be stated. There is an element out there that agrees with the Supreme Court and thinks that Roe v. Wade was essentially allowed abortion to somehow gain traction and legitimacy, and that somehow also encouraged people to get abortions. So there's two sides to this issue, and there's a camp out there for both sides. There's not equal sides. It's clearly more people support a woman's right to choose. That's not even up for debate. That's inarguable. More people support a woman's right to choose. But uh, that right still exists. Like you said, for us here in Minnesota, those rights are protected, and we're already seeing some clinics, especially those on the borderline areas, like in Fargo, North Dakota. There's a clinic there that already rented space in Moorhead and has planned to move over to Minnesota so that they can still continue to operate and provide services for their clientele from North Dakota that are going to cross the border and come over to Minnesota to get the services and resources that they need.
Yeah, you answered that question. What about the woman right to choose? I think for me, from your conversation, my conversation is a little bit different. Yes, I have a wife. Yes, I have a daughter. I have friends who are Muslims, and so the decision is kind of, that decision has kind of been balanced on both sides. There is some that strongly feel to some extent that it should be allowed, that a woman has the right to choose, and there's some who are on the extreme end that really agree with this Supreme Court decision. So it's brought up a lot of conversation, and that this puts us back to what we really want to talk about. And my question to you is that with this decision that came about, Roe v. Wade, this decision, will it have an impact on this midterm elections in Minnesota? What's your view on that?
Well, I don't see how it can't. It's a topic that a lot of people are talking about. When you get into the politically active conversations, this comes up top front and center. I mean, this is the issue that people are seeing now was a political move that took place over the course of many, many election cycles. So what we're getting right now is the after effect of politics and political effort. So it has to be a conversation and a topic that people are thinking about and voting on, because this is the result of having voted in a Republican president whose sworn vow it was to only appoint Supreme Court justices who were determined and willing to overturn Roe v. Wade. So this is not just an accident or a freak coincidence, or this didn't just happen. This is the political fallout of something that has been going on for a long time. And so that's going to be something that people are thinking about when they vote, not just in this next election, but over the course of the next 5, 10, 15 years.
And this is how Roe v. Wade being overturned could impact midterm election in Minnesota. This is Care 11 online publication by Heidi Wigdahl, St. Paul, Minnesota. The U.S. Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade on Friday with less than 5 months to go before the 2022 midterm elections. This will be an issue that will be discussed in every race across the country and in Minnesota, says Catherine Pearson, a University of Minnesota political science professor. The Supreme Court decision throws a new dynamic into the November 8th election. Voters in Minnesota will decide everything from the governor race to all 201 seats in the House and Senate. Voters both sides will be mobilized, but this year, particularly voters who favor abortion rights. Typically, Republicans are more likely to consider the Supreme Court when voting, Pearson said. Is that truth into that statement, my friend Mickey Mo?
100%. I mean, there are some districts within our state that it's a foregone conclusion that it's going to either be Democrat or Republican. There's no set of circumstances under
you
which.
mean outside the Twin City area? Most likely, some places might, right? Go ahead.
For instance, I'm in CD5, and there's no set of circumstances that's going to see a Republican elected to represent congressional district number 5. And so
I don't know why people run on a Republican ticket in CD5.
Well, it's just, you can make money. It's just there are some close races, and even the governor's race, because it's statewide, that is going to really see an impact from this issue, because people are going to really be focusing on it. You're going to hear this as a topic on the debate. You're going to hear it as a topic when these guys do their stump. The Democratic candidates are going to be soundly promising to protect a woman's right to choose. You're going to hear that
It's
over and
already,
over
the
and
drums have
over
already
again.
started.
The Republicans are going to be talking a lot about how they, how somehow this Supreme Court decision is somehow some kind of mandate that allows the Republicans to work towards rolling back the rights to choose, and that's going to be an argument that both sides make to try to gin up their base and try to really turn out voters on that subject. I mean, it's going to
I,
happen.
I think the decision by the Supreme Court is going to have a big impact on Minnesota. And uh, a few weeks ago, I favored the Republicans to take the Senate and the House. But what I see right now on the ground and how much organizing and money is coming in, I think it's likely that Democrats might hold on to the House. They might hold on to the governor's governorship, and they might attempt to win the Senate majority. So things are changing quickly in favor of the Democrats, who have traditionally supported a woman's right to choose, unlike the Republicans, who are right now actually it seems like they don't have a message in a way on how to defend this decision that was made.
In a state like Minnesota, it's a tricky balancing act because they know that an overwhelming majority of the people that live in Minnesota respect and want to honor a woman's right to make her own health decisions, especially regarding reproductive rights. And so
That
for
is
them to just come out and blatantly say, oh, the government should decide about a woman's right to regarding their pregnancy, that's off limits. That territory is not going to, they're not going to find any fertile ground with that kind of argument. So they're going to have to really walk a fine line. It's going to be a balancing act, but they're going to find their messaging on this. It's going to come in the form of religion and morality and this kind of holy kind of take on the whole issue. And we'll see how it turns out. I gave up predictions in politics ever since 2016. So I just will have to wait and see what happens.
Well, it's gonna be a big one. So I hope my audio is out there. We're gonna be talking about early voting that just started. Talk to us through that, please, Mickey.
Well, you have to apply for a ballot. You have to send in for a ballot. You can go right on to the Secretary of State's website, and you can download a link, or I don't even remember how it's done. You go on you go on the website and you click, and they'll send you a ballot. Then once you get the ballot, it's a little bit different this year. There's a few changes. You need a witness, and the witness has to be somebody who is also a registered Minnesota voter. So you can't just have your kid do it if they're under 18. You have to have a legitimate registered Minnesota voter as your witness. You have to sign it in several places. You have to either include your driver's license number or the last four digits of your social security number. And you have to make sure you dot your I's and cross your T's. You don't want your ballot to be thrown out. Now, here's the good news. I suggest and I encourage everybody to do this right away. The August 9th primary is some 35, 40 days away yet. Don't wait. Do it now. Why? Because you can always check in after you've sent in your ballot and make sure that it's been turned in properly, that make sure your vote has already been counted. If you wait until August 9th to turn it in, it will most likely be counted, but you're not going to have that peace of mind in knowing that. If you get your ballot turned in, like I was a witness for my mother to turn in her to fill out her ballot a couple days ago. Now she's going to turn that in, and she's going to be able to check at the very beginning of July to know that her primary ballot has already been counted, and she's going to be able to rest easy knowing her vote's in there. And I would just highly encourage everybody to do the same thing. Do it right away. We'll post some stuff on here with some explanations. You can just Google Minnesota early voting primary, and you'll get links
The
right away.
information, yeah, the information is out there, detail by detail. You can go to the Minnesota Secretary of State website. It'll give you more details. There is other groups and other organizations out there online as well. If you put early voting Minnesota, you'll get a lot of details, a
It's
lot of
super
information
easy.
that you
Anybody
can go
that's got
about.
access to a computer, you can
There we go.
Google it and get your
Yeah,
ballot in the
yeah.
mail within just a couple of clicks. It's not complicated at all. And I
That's
just
it.
it's important. I think it's very important.
And if you're out there watching Mickey and you're out there watching me, you're out there watching the show, the Somali Week this week is right on Lake Street. If you want to join, I'll have somebody joining me talking about Somali Week. So if you want to go and check, be here, stay here on Twitter. If you're on YouTube at Haji Daily, and also on Twitter and also on Facebook, Haji Daily. If you can join me there, I'm going to have a great conversation with one of the organizers of Kajog, the now known as Raising Impact, that are hosting a whole week of Somali Week. So if you want to know about the Somali Week and Somali culture and what they're all about here in Minnesota, come join me. This is going to be a great show. I'll see you guys in a little bit. But I must say thank you to my friend Mickey Mo with an accent. Go ahead, Mickey. Thank you for joining me today, man. I really much appreciate it. I always can never get enough of what you have to say. You have a lot to say, my friend.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me, Haji. Anytime you got a show, count me in as a.
Oh no, you have a show. I mean, I don't have to count you anything. You are just be here every day, once a week, and we good.
Okay, you got it.
We just gotta figure out exactly what day and what time, and then we're just on it. So that's what needs to happen. Otherwise, we just be every now and then we'll have every week.
Well, we'll just make sure to we'll get these links posted so people can catch up on our old shows and then our new shows, and even if you don't see it on the day that it's broadcast, you can watch it after it's broadcast.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining me, Yusuf Haji Daily, and Mickey Mo. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Bye bye.
Thanks a lot, guys. Good night.